Everyone. My name is Christopher Artiega, and I'm going to be taking you on a tour of my self-affirming icebreaker. I want to start off by saying that the Harmonize app is embedded into the Canvas system. And to start off for my students, I just provide a very brief introduction, explain that they're going to be doing an icebreaker assignment that's going to require the Harmonize app, which is embedded into Canvas. And if they haven't used it before, not to worry because I'll provide further instructions in the app. Without further ado, let's get started. So if you look right here, you can see that there are two comments and one post. Two comments are video comments. I'm going to refer to them as video one and video two. The post is the instructions that are posted on Harmonize. First things first, you will see an introduction here right in the middle of the screen. I just briefly introduced my students to the assignment by saying that there are going to be two parts to the video or audio, depending on what they decide to go with. They need to post their initial video or audio by Friday night at 11:59, and they need to respond to two classmates either with video, audio, or using the text feature no later than Sunday night at 11:59. I kindly remind them that there is a prompt as well, so that they can check that out below the Harmonize app. Now we get to the overview, right? It's very similar information, explaining the purpose of this assignment, and that ultimately they're going to be learning more about one another, and they're going to be discussing an issue that impacts everyone, the literacy crisis. Moving on to the instructions, the first thing that I actually want my students to do is to pay attention to the rubric that they will see below. And I want them to read the three articles that I have. So these three articles are going to be connected to the second half of the video or audio that they post. Articles 1, 2, and 3 are attached below. Once they've read those articles, internalize them, and organize their thoughts, then they can start working on their video or audio. I tell them to either record video or record audio, and to do so in an area with little to no background noise, sufficient lighting, and few, if any, background distractions. Their video should be at least 2 minutes long, 1 minute for part one and 1 minute for part two. I tell them to kindly introduce themselves. What's their name? Do they have any preferences for how we address them? Where are you from? What is your major? And how do you plan on using your degree when you transfer? I also ask a few other personal questions as well. What are some hobbies and interests that you have? And have you done anything exciting recently, or is there something unique about you that you want to share with the class? And then lastly, I want them to reflect on a book or an author which has left a lasting impact on them. And this just gives us a brief chance to also discuss what their favorite books are, their authors, and genres are. Since this is an English class, so reading and writing is going to be expected. That's, of course, the full point of being in an English class in the first place. Now, the second half of the video and the audio is going to have them reflect on what they've learned about the literacy crisis. I want them to choose some information that they found in the articles that they feel is worth discussing. And I also want them to answer some of the guiding questions I have below. So there are 5 guiding questions below, and I want them to pick at least 2 to address the second half of their video. And these questions range from, what do you think are the major causes of the literacy crisis, and what aspects of our society worsen this crisis, all the way down to, why do you think the United States is experiencing this crisis, and do you think the literacy crisis will better or worsen in the next 20 years? After they've posted their video, I want them to respond to 2 classmates, either by video, audio, or text-based reply. And again, right, video, audio, that would be for their initial response. They can go with one that suits them best. And if they choose a video to respond or an audio, I want it to be at least 30 seconds. If they choose a written response to a classmate, I want it to be at least 100 words. And if they need any help, I give them 2 resources. They can either reach out to me through my contact information, which is with the Canvas inbox, or my school email. And I want them to do it by no later than Sunday night at 11:59, since that is the due date for everything. And if they need further assistance, I encourage them to reach out to the Student Tech Center. And then lastly, I remind them that there is a grading criterion rubric, right? And to please see the one that is attached here. These are just some of the articles that pop up as links. And most importantly, I illustrate two videos for my students. The first video that you're going to see here goes over the instructions in greater detail. And the second video I have is a sample of what I expect them to write or talk about in their responses. So without further ado, let's get started. I want to post this video right here like so. I might actually make it full screen. I'll just see.
Hello, everyone. My name is Christopher Artiega, and I'm going to be your English faculty member here at Sierra College. I'm a relatively new faculty member, having started working out here since 2024. And I'm just taking the time to discuss in this video some of the expectations that I have for you in order to complete this first assignment. You're going to find two videos here in this Harmonize module. This is going to act as our icebreaker activity, but this first video that you're watching right now is just a quick overview of some of the instructions that I have in order for you to complete the week one assignment. So a couple of things I want you to pay attention to. Please pay attention to the written instructions that I have in this module. There's going to be two parts to the video that you submit. The first part is the icebreaker itself. You're just telling us a little bit about who you are, your major, some things that are of interest to you. You could also discuss a little bit about, family, pets, trips, or exciting things that you've done. Just basically give us a brief overview of who you are as a person, what you are majoring in, and what you plan to do with your degree moving forward. And then the second part of this, I'm going to have you address the literacy crisis. I've provided a few articles. There are a total of 3 here in this module. Please take the time to read them. And once you have gathered your thoughts and organized them, take the time to explain in the second half of your video what you will be covering. What are some of the things that you have learned in that literacy crisis? So I would highly recommend that you take the time to read the articles first. Think about what you're going to say for the second half. And then when you're ready to submit your video, submit one total video. The first half of the video is going to be that icebreaker introduction, and the second half of that video is going to be what you've learned about the literacy crisis now that you've read those articles. This should be roughly 2 minutes total. You can go a little bit more than that if you wish, but try to refrain from going under that. It gives you enough of a chance to explain and to cover those topics. So without further ado, this is again video 1. I'm going to have a second video, and I'm going to illustrate what I'm expecting you to do in that second video and how you're going to submit your response. Once again, I'm Chris Artiega, and I look forward to meeting all of you as the semester progresses.
Here is the second video that I have right down here.
Hello, everyone. This is video 2 for the Harmonize module that we are completing for our week 1 icebreaker activity. I wanted to give you a brief sample of what this would look like when you go by and submit your final video to the rest of the class. So as a quick reminder, you're going to be submitting one video for the class, and then you're going to be responding to 2 other classmates, and you can respond either via text, so as a response to that person's video, or you can take the time to offer a video response as well. If you do the video response, just make sure you offer some sort of insightful comments. I didn't really put a specific time frame for that, but shoot for about 30 seconds, per video, per response.
Video lagging a little bit there, sorry everyone.
That's in addition to the 2-minute video that you'll be having for your initial response, your initial video. So I want to start off with the first half. And the first half of the video, I'm going to start by introducing myself. My name is Christopher Artiega, and there are a variety of things that you can, there are a variety of ways that you can address me. The first is by just calling me Professor or Professor Artiega, which is my last name, or Chris or Christopher. I'm really not too fussy about either the shortened or longer version of my name. I leave it up to the individual. Where am I from? I'm from Yuba County, so just north of here, born and raised in Northern California. And so it's been a fantastic opportunity to be able to work with the students here at Sierra. And my major, I actually majored in English composition for my master's, but I got my bachelor's degree in liberal studies, which is essentially an education degree. And when I was a community college student myself up at Yuba, the degree's name was officially Social and Behavioral Sciences, which was essentially a transfer degree towards the liberal studies program. Um, it's been a destiny of mine to be able to teach, and so I'm glad that I have the opportunity to do so over here. And this is what I've wanted to do for a very long time now. Some interest and hobbies that I have. I enjoy art. I enjoy music, right? Drawing, playing the piano. These are things that I have fun time doing. I'm also a big basketball fan, so you'll probably catch me from time to time, talking about the Kings or talking about what's happening in the NBA. So feel free to have discussions about some of those things with me if you see me either on campus or if you just want to discuss these things online. Um, have I done anything exciting recently? I got the opportunity to spend 2 months up in Maine teaching art to kids at a summer camp, which I think is pretty cool. It's get the opportunity to be 3,000 miles away from home in a place, that is new to me, right? Getting to meet people from all around the world. It's fantastic experience, to be honest. And for as far as books and authors that have left a lasting impact on me, there are so many different directions I could have gone with this. And ultimately, it's a book that I've decided to teach this semester in my English 1B course, and that was The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I think just considering everything that is going on right now and that has been going on for the last few years, right? It's a really important book to discuss, that yes, right, rights and privileges and stuff like that can be taken away at any time. And so it's important that we as democratically elected as a democratically elected country, right, that we go by and we continue to advocate for our own rights, especially during these trying times. And yeah, if you have any questions you want to expand off this, feel free to do so. Now, the second half of the literacy crisis, there were a lot of directions I could have taken this in, but I actually will direct you to the National Literacy Institute, which was one of the 3 articles that I had you read. And I think the first I want to talk about is the 3 out of 5 people who are in American prisons who cannot read. So this sort of seems to be a societal thing. People who don't have the opportunities wind up in prison, but these are also the people who don't have the ability to read and therefore they don't have the ability to move up the social ladder and experience upward mobility. And I think that this problem continues to just compound itself, right? You wind up not maladjusted, in society. Then you wind up in prison, and then you try to get back out. But if you don't have the tools needed to make a functional life for yourself, it's going to make it difficult. And the second one that really sticks out to me is the 54% of adults who have a literacy level below the 6th grade. So the 6th grade level is considered a functionally literate level for Americans ages 15 and older. And the fact that there are more than half of the people who can't read at this level, it's shocking, to be honest with you. And it's an issue that we need to go by and address sooner rather than later. Now, I did have you address some questions as well in the assignment. And I would say that if I were in a position of power, right, I would definitely want to go by and expand opportunities for people by offering more class sections and having more full-time faculty who could go by and cover those classes, especially for adults. I have a lot of experience working with both adults and children, but since this is a class geared towards adults and adult learning, right, that'll be the focus of my response here. So if I were in a position of power, let's just say I were in charge of California's Department of Education, right? This would be something that I'd want to do. I would want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to take sections of these classes by offering more classes and by putting more money towards them. And I would say that the second thing I would do, actually, if I were to go by and take it to the next question I wanted to discuss, which would be if I were in a heated debate with someone about the literacy crisis, which of these facts would I choose in my debate? Ultimately, I would have to go with the 54% of American adults who cannot read at the 6th grade level. I think that's shocking, right? And yeah, I don't necessarily know if it's going to get better immediately, but it definitely will take time. So if we as a country have a goal and we say that we want to go by and focus and direct our energies towards something, we can do it, but we have to be aware that it's a problem. And we have to also continue to practice what we preach. Take the time to read for pleasure, take the time to read a variety of things, take the time to have these conversations. And so, yeah, those are the two main questions I want to answer. And I look forward to everyone else's response. Thank you.
So that includes both videos and my presentation. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day.